Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel, and this short video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous night of the local time. And as usually these days, we're going to start with Avdiivka, because the most important updates are coming from this territory, to be more precise from the southern axis. According to information we have, during the previous night, the Russians managed to launch in a very unexpected, probably, and very powerful offensive operation from the southern part of Avdiivka, from Chernyshevska, Sportivna, Soborna streets, in direction of the former air defense base to the southern Cheburashka fortification. And as a result of that attack, the Russians either managed to establish control over the forest belt and the railroad. This territory was captured by the Russians as a result of attack, and as a result of the second phase of the same attack, the Russians managed to enter this residential area and to establish a partial control over this territory. So this is something like a progress as of the morning of 12th of February of 2024. This information was confirmed either by pro-Ukrainian mappers and, let's say, neutral mappers and pro-Russian mappers as well. So yet we haven't received even a single geolocated confirmation of that, but due to the reports of different mappers, we will adjust the map showing this territory currently in the gray zone. And furthermore, the same sources report about additional progress of the Russian forces from Oputna in the same direction, somewhere in the direction of the fields. And as a result of this offensive operation, the Russians just managed to establish few positions in the fields. Currently, we don't have any information regarding the strongholds and trenches in the fields. Very difficult to understand what kind of positions were captured by the Russians during using this way of attack. But very likely there are some trenches or local and small, let's say, group strongholds or something like this. Anyway, regarding the situation in the fields between Oputna and former air defense base, the most important thing is that the Russians got as close as possible to the road 0505 and basically managed to cut this road physically. So this is not like, according to the most of the reliable mappers, this is like a real fact that has already taken place, and that's mean that the Ukrainian forces that are located currently in Cheburashka and former air defense base are encircled and appeared in 100% cauldron. We'll follow the situation for more details. Now we're moving further to the central part. We stopped receiving any updates about the progress of the Russian forces on this territory. The sources report about continuous clashes for industrial zone, small progress to the west, to the south, to the east, without any, let's say, certain videos or additional, let's say, reports about additional progress. The situation, as I can see, according to at least a current update, was stabilized by the Ukrainians. We are not saying that the Ukrainians managed to repel the Russian attacks, but they managed to fulfill the line of combat contact with fresh forces, and now the Russians are forced to spend time to grind the new reinforcement that have arrived to this line. Obviously, this process is going to take place additional time, maybe a week, maybe two, maybe a few days more, maybe less. Maybe the situation has been already resolved and we're gonna receive more updates during the next few hours. Anyway, the situation is like this, and we see that the map has stopped and changed for the previous let's say 2 or 3 days. We see the same picture almost for 3 or 2 days. The last update probably about some progress took place somewhere on Friday, and after that we see no changes on the map. Obviously they're going to be, but let's wait. So this is the situation in the central part, and this is the situation in the southern part of Avdiivka. Now we are moving to Novomykhailovka direction, Marinka, Novomykhailovka direction. We have lots of very interesting details and updates, and according to information we have, the Russians managed to conduct a very successful operation along the tree line that goes from the road 0524 into the south, and basically the Russians are trying to bypass Pobeda from different directions, and this is the beginning of, let's say, the assault in direction of these farms that located to the east of Pobeda. This information was confirmed by different mappers, and we also have geolocated video which we used for, let's say, clarifying and adjusting the map. So it's 100% sure confirmation. The previous version of map, this territory used to be under Ukrainian control. So the next step is to attack the farms, and the battle for Pobeda officially has started. Also, we got some interesting video from Novomykhailovka itself. The Russian sources shared with us the video of Russian attack in direction of Novomykhailovka. On this this video, for example, we can see the Russian tank with demining equipment, and according to this video, this tank managed to create a 1 kilometer line, a safe line, cleared out of mine line, and during this process the tank got and destroyed, demined probably 10 mines on the line. Later the Russians were using this let's say safe road for further offensive operation, for infantry attacks and so on. This video was added on map softly. It's just one episode of Clashes for Novo-Mikhailovka that shows us the process and how everything happened during the 4th, 5th and 6th of February or something like this. Another important update is coming from Marinka direction. Today the Ukrainian sources, the Ukrainian soldiers on the ground, published the video. According to this video, this is Ukrainian soldier, and according to him, he and his squad and his group has been staying on Marinka direction, on Marinka-Georgievka direction for another 18 months without any rotation, without any help, support from the mainland and so on. They require for rotation, they require them to be demobilized, and they want to go home, and they demand the Ukrainian authorities to send children of rich people, of police officers, of generals, of authorities, of deputies, of golden young people of Ukraine, to send them on the line of combat contact and to send them back home. And he told Zelensky and told probably Syrsky that if Ukrainian authorities would not change them, are not going to change them, then they would start movement in direction of Kiev with the purpose probably to storm Kiev or something like this. Anyway, we see some riots in army, and obviously we're gonna see such episodes more and more in the near future. Now we are moving to Bakhmut-Artyomov's direction. We have a lot of very interesting details and updates from this territory as well. We don't have any geolocated videos or something like this. The only thing we have, few reports from this part of the forest. If you remember, we were talking a lot about the further Russian plans, and I explained to you that the next Russian goal is to attack not in direction of Chasiv Yar Canal, because it's a very well fortified and very powerful stronghold, and very unlikely the Russians are able to establish control over this territory during the front line attack, attack this area in front. They need to bypass this territory from the north and from the south, and we discussed that the next Russian step is to move to the south. And this night, let's say at 12:30 p.m. of the local time this night, let's say, we receive report that the Russians, as a result of offensive operation, managed to establish control over the stronghold by the name of Kolokolchik. So at 12:30, I didn't know for sure what is the Kolokolchik fortification, but later at 9:30 a.m. of the local time, the 9:40 to be more precise, the Russian sources published and shared with us information what is Kolokolchik. And according to we have also the video of captured Ukrainian prisoners of war somewhere from that area, and the Russians are saying that as a result of offensive operation, the Russians managed to improve their positions and to establish complete control over this territory. This is Kolokolchik. So currently, according to very reliable mappers who follow the situation on the ground, the Russians managed to establish control over this part, and the Russians are getting closer and closer to Ivanovska from the north. Very likely that the Russians within a day or two will be able to bypass this territory either without any problems, and then the battle for Ivanovska will start with a new force or renew with a new force, and this is going to be an epic clashes for one of the most important strongholds of Ukrainian defense belt on Chasiv Yar direction. The battle for Ivanovska is the real battle of Ivanovska is about to start. Also, interesting details we continue receiving from Sinkovka. The Russian sources published the video of storming a process of another trenches along the forest in this area, which confirms additional Russian progress around Sinkovka. Maybe that video was old, but anyway, we have some few more geolocations confirming the Russian progress along the city, along the forest, along the edge positions of the village by the name of Sinkovka. Important updates are coming from the rest of Ukraine. Once again, we have additional info about mobilization process and so on. Before that, first let's discuss this video. The Russian sources are saying that this is the first and real evidence of destroyed HIMARS system somewhere in the territory of Ukraine. Very likely that this HIMARS system was destroyed in Kherson direction a few days ago. The Minister of Defense of Russian Federation published the video of that attack, of those attacks. And very likely that this is one of the HIMARS systems that was destroyed during those attacks that were conducted by the Russians a few days ago. And now we're moving to mobilization process. Additional information we received from the western part of Ukraine. According to information we have, another person was mobilized on the 1st of February, and basically he died at 9th of February as a result of very bad, with some kind of disabilities, or maybe some bad health or something like this. So just 9 days later, 8-9 days later, he died as a result of physical pressure on him. He was maybe a lot of too difficult exercises for him. He's basically had a heart attack and so on. So this is the mobilization process. But the most important video of mobilization process is coming some from Odessa. This is a complete disaster. On this video we can see how the Ukrainian, let's say, military authorities arrived to another village with the purpose to mobilize man population there, and man population connected, had like union, and start fighting on the ground with Ukrainian military authorities who were planning to mobilize them. There was very heavy clashes, as you can see, wall to wall, and as a result of those, let's say, fightings, the locals managed to win the Ukrainians, and they were forced to step back. This is the second video in a row, and we see that, I'm telling you, we're gonna receive more and more of this type of video, and everything will be ended with a death, with a certain death, either by somebody of locals or of somebody of military authorities, and then the situation can run away from the control, will be uncontrolled, and this can lead to complete disaster either for Ukraine and for Ukraine. That's it. And of course the interesting report we received from Elon Musk, and he reported that he doesn't know about anything about the selling of Starlinks officially to Russia, but also he added that Starlink satellites will not close the link in Russia, which is very important, because we see that the confrontation and fighting between Elon Musk and Democratic parties and power and authorities of the United States of America is getting to the next level, and I can't even imagine what is going to happen within the next half a year. And that's it for the short video. Military Summary channel reminds you to condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes to my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.